Here's a pitch swung on a long drive. Way back, might be at it. It is.
What's cracking, everyone? It's your boy Sivo, and today I felt like doing something special. I was like, wait a minute, hold up. You're telling me we got the most emotional One Piece injuries, but we don't get the most physical, like the shit that makes you cringe? Well, I got that for you right now. So this is my top 35 list of the most painful One Piece injuries. Now, I do gotta say, some of them might seem like the out of order. Well, I tried to rate them best I could, but this is subjective. Tell me what I'm missing, so let's go.
自分の足を冗談やめてよ。
冗談じゃねえよ。ここから抜けてるにはそれしかねえんだ。お前らどうする？
どうするって無駄よ。そんなことしてここ降りてもすぐ捕まっちゃうわ。
そんなもんやってみねえでわかるかよ。ここにいたらどうせやられちまうんだ。見苦しくあがいてみようじゃねえか。こんなカス相手に潔く死んでやる筋合いはねえ。そうだろ。何言ってやる。正気か。いや、問題なかった。
ちょっとあんた足。
ああ、半分ぐらい言ったかな。
それがどこが問題ないのよ。
とりあえずルフィ。
So for number 35, I got when Zoro was cutting his legs off during when you were on Little Guard. All right, that shit looked painful. Like, all right, so we all know Zoro's a badass, right? So tell me why this man took his sword. This man said, all right, since we're trapped in this wax, just nonchalantly just starts cutting his shit off. Like, dude, do you not feel that? He said, oh, only got well, thank God he didn't cut his legs off because Luffy came by. But he said he got halfway through, and if you can see, he still has the scars on his ankles. He only got halfway through. So you're telling me he got through the I don't know, the tibia, the freaking ankle bone and the muscle without wincing, or you say it's casual. We already know Zoro's a badass, but this nigga just chill out. All right.
Veruno. Sunda.
Law versus Virgo on Punk Hazard. Now, again, we already know this nigga Law is badass, and we forget that Virgo was actually beaten. Well, he wasn't beating Law, but he was giving Law the work. All right, because Law was at a disadvantage because you know, the heart. All right, we already know Law is a badass. But so just because this badass can dish out pain, he can take pain too. This nigga literally had his heart. Virgo literally had his heart start squeezing that shit. Now I don't know if you guys ever felt heart palpitations or had a heart attack. Now imagine that just on the spot. All right, that shit is excruciating. Heart pain is excruciating. That was I was about to I had to look away during that scene. I'm not gonna lie to you. I had to look away from that scene. So that shit was very painful. I think it's a little it seems a little bit too high on the list. Actually, it needs to be lower on the numbers because that shit hurt. That shit looked definitely ooh.
黙れ。死んで本望。お前を道連れにできるのならな。やめろ。ディセクトー。ディセクトー。
Number 33, the underrated badass, the freaking Chickasaw Indian, the Cherokee Chickasaw Indian himself, Wiper, leader of the Shandorians, rejectile Inu, bitch ass. Alright. Nano's not a bitch ass, this dude is a god. Literally, he's a god, alright? But people forget that how much work Wiper put in during Skypiea. This nigga literally took how many rejectiles? I think two rejectiles. His arm should have been gone. His arm should have blown back. He literally posted up with, he was one of the only people to be able to post up with Inu until that nigga restarted his heart. But that's not the point. He still killed Inu. That's a badass feat. You reject that. If you think about it, all the impact on a rejectile. Now, if we're calculating physics here, that's a massive amount of pressure exerting on the body. He must have broken like maybe a good 50-60 bones. I don't think Wiper should have been still alive after that. But yeah, that shit looked like it hurt. I would not want to be on the other end of that. And I think I would want to reject out in real life if I had the option.
なんだこの重さは。こいつのどこにこんな力が。
Number 32, Zoro versus Fujitora. Now people are saying, alright, this is the only injury Zoro had, well, not anymore, but it was for a good while, the only like altercation / damage Zoro took post time skip. And people like to rag on Sanji, but that's just beyond the point. But Zoro, when he clashed with Fujitora, people forget how this man. All right, it was a minor injury, but that shit still looked like it hurt a lot. Like all right, this man got hit with a gravity surge. When he clashed with Zoro, when Fujitora clashed with Zoro, he literally got put into a crevice with so much gravity upon him. That looked like it was on the fucking gravity chamber in Dragon Ball Z. Like that was at least 10 times, maybe 50 times gravity. Now, if you know anything about physics, that shit would kill you and compress all your organs. And we see his organs got compressed because he was internally bleeding. He was bleeding out of the mouth. Now, imagine that constant pressure on you, all your bone. Number 31, Sanji versus Virgo. Now, people are like, why is this on the list? Nigga cracked his leg. He cracked his tibia. Like, right? See this? That when you break that, breaking bones hurts. A broken bone fucking hurts.
No way.
Now Sanji has had his fair share of broken bones, and people like to rag on Sanji for this fight because Sanji's weak after time skip. No. His body was weakened, and people like to forget how strong Virgo it really is. He was Dofi's second or right hand man, and when he clashed with Virgo, nigga had his bone cracked and he was still scrapping. He winced. That's all. No, I would have been hollering, screaming. I would have been fucking bawling on that. I would have. That's how I would have been if I fucking clashed with Virgo. All right, but Sanji's used to taking broken bones, so it was all good for him. But that shit that made me wince really bad during that.
ここが貴様の墓場だ。おい、無茶だ。殴ってみろ。なんだありゃ、汚ねえぞ。
で俺の死に場所を決めんな。
サンジ、あいつをよく見とけ。全身に何百の武器を仕込んでも腹にくくった一本の槍にはかなわねえ。
Number 30, Luffy versus Don Krieg in the East Blue Saga and the Baratier arc. Alright, so Luffy has had a ton of injuries, and this was one of his first. And I remember Luffy got shot 3 times with heavy ass steel bullets, and then still punched. He literally when Don Krieg put the spike raft out to defend himself, nigga Luffy punched through the spike. That shit reminded me of Naruto when Kabuto fucking stabbed the kunai through his hand. Do you know how big those big, you know how big those fucking spikes are? Like, that shit must have pierced bone. It must have caused bleeding. Yeah, hell, the dudes, the Baratier line cooks fucking winced at that. I winced at that. But we already know Luffy doesn't give a fuck. He's Luffy's Luffy. He will do what he has to do to be successful, even if he doesn't think it through. He just wins with brute force, as we see later on a lot. But that's Luffy, and yeah.
いい加減にしねえか。とっとと起きてるか。なんだ離れねえ。どうなってんだい。
Number 29, Spandam. And when Spandam was taking Robin away. Now we all know Spandam is a piece of shit. I still think he should have fucking died. But you know, and Funk Freed deserves better. He definitely deserves better. People forget about Funk Freed. He's a beast. All right, he's cute. But when Spandam was taking Robin away, Robin literally fucking. She. What the heck? Now, I don't know how Robin still has her pearly whites, but I saw blood. That shit broke her now, and it cracked her teeth. Now, I don't know if you guys ever fucking cracked the teeth, but imagine biting on concrete. That's some American history X curve stomp type shit. That made me wince. I was like, shit. I don't know how Robin could do it, but Robin is obviously one of the best girls. So she can take out some pain. She can take some pain. Took pain all her life. So no, I'm not even surprised. I'm not surprised that baby girl could be able to do that. But that still looked like it fucking hurt a lot. Number 28, Nami stabbing herself during Arlong Park arc. Now this is the moment that made everyone fall in love with One Piece, and I fell in love with One Piece. I fell in love with One Piece during that moment as well. I'm pretty sure you probably did too. But people saw Nami's pain, all that shit that she had to go through. Fucking Arlong beating her ass all the time, you know, killing Bellamere, forcing her to be a cartographer, drawing maps and all that shit for years upon years, having to, you know, launder money, all that terrible shit, you know. So she just had enough of Arlong. She took a dagger, not once, mind you, stabbed her fucking bicep right here, repeatedly. Not once. It was a flesh wound. Not once. Like, it was about like a good 6 times. It was repeated in the same spot. Now I know she was emotionally in more pain and physical pain during that time. But, jeez. Number 27. When Zoro cut himself during the fight against Buggy in the East Blue Saga. Now, this was in the beginning of the goddamn series, and we already know that Zoro. We already knew Zoro was badass from the start, from Jump Street. All right, but this was what, like, I'd say his maybe first badass moment in the series, where he literally, when he was getting sliced up in the fight against Buggy and his crew, he literally fucking said, you know what, fuck it, I don't care if I get cut. He took a blade, hit that shit, wham! Alright, right across his I'd say where was that? On his side of his abdomen, so maybe his liver, maybe his pancreas. Nah, not his liver. Maybe it was his liver, or maybe his kidney. But whatever that shit was, he got organ damage from that, and he was just smiling, you know, grimacing. You know, I would be afraid of a nigga like that if I saw that, you know. So that was pretty painful. That looked pretty. I winced when I first saw that, and that was in the beginning of the series. So I was like, God damn, maybe One Piece ain't that childish. Number 26. Thunder backward. When fucking when Kaido, people say, oh yeah, Luffy is too overpowered. You know, Luffy is gonna take down Kaido. Yada yada. Shit the fuck up. This batting like a fly. That attack could probably be felt from the goddamn East Blue. Alright. He smited that. He smited Luffy like Zeus. Alright. When the impact in the manga and especially the anime animated it beautifully. I don't know why they made it look like Luffy had a chance, but it was still beautifully animated. The impact on that strike, I'm not gonna lie, I think Luffy should be dead. I don't think the series should be going on after that, because I don't care if Luffy's a rubber or not. That shit looked like it had all types of BBC hockey infused into it. So, oh man, that shit looked like he got rocked. Like something you would see on a rec thread in 4chan. That's how bad it was. Number 25, Luffy versus Blackbeard and Impel Down. Alright, so this was pretty much Luffy's and Blackbeard's first altercation. Pre-time skip after he found out that Blackbeard was the one responsible for turning in Ace and ultimately resorting later in his death. Spoilers. But when Luffy posted up with Blackbeard, people were saying Luffy was on the same level as Blackbeard at the time, or at least close. I disagree because that nigga Luffy got, you know how many that he got slammed. Like I'm talking about Brock Lesnar. I'm talking about Randy Orton. I'm talking about Big Show slammed on the ground. That what he. All right, when Blackbeard held him, raised him up, slammed that nigga on the ground. You know what? I think Thunder Bob. I don't know. I think Luffy probably should have broke his spine after that because he had no. Think about it. He had no hockey. His devil fruit was negated because of the Yami Yami no Mi. And so Blackbeard, a big nigga, raised him up. This man has to be like what? 10 feet, 8 feet, 11 feet? Still tall, big nigga. Slammed him on concrete ground with no devil fruit or hockey. That nigga Luffy, I know he got his plan to knock out of him.
あんなちっぽけな海賊団からなぜなんだなぜたった一人の女をなぜ奪えね長官助けて
クラッチ
Number 24. Phew! Clutch! Personally, I think Spandam deserved a lot worse. That man needed to be flayed. He needed to be keel hauled, hang drawed quarter, fucking had his nuts fed to the dogs for what she did. I mean, what he did to my baby girl Robin. Alright, because Robin is, in fact, best Straw Hat Girl. Alright, she close to being best girl, but she is definitely indeed way better than Nami. So when Robin literally grabbed, did her double,
Get the fuck out!
put her hands around Spandam, then that just held all that pain, all that emotional pain, and transferred to Spandam, just to clutch, and it showed his back breaking, his spine breaking. I hope that nigga's paralyzed for life, by the way. I don't think he is, because, you know, sadly he's not, but I think he deserved a lot worse than that. But that shit still made me wince, just the pressure on your back and then snap, and you're paralyzed. Wheelchair, bitch. That's what you get.
Danger! Danger!
Number 23, Hakuba versus Dillinger. Now, this was a pretty forgotten moment in Dressrosa arc, but people forget how insane Hakuba was. Like, I don't know, that man looks like he could be Zoro right now. I'm sorry.
No way.
No, I don't know, but what I seen him do, what we seen him do to Dillinger, in Dressrosa, that shit was grisly. Like, that was some Nightmare on Elm Street shit. The amount of times he got sliced, it looked like he was in he looked like he was in Bleach. Rurouni Kenshin. He looked like he was going against it looked like he was going against freaking
What do you want to say?
I don't know, but it did not look pretty. I think Dillinger, that nigga's dead. He got filleted. Death by 1,000 cuts. A storm of swords. No one deserved that. He got did dirty. That nigga said, and it was over. I'm sorry.
弾かれる。
何もかもえぐり切っちまうからね。
Number 21, Zoro versus Mr. One. Like I said, Zoro is a badass, and he's gonna have a lot of badass moments in this. But the amount of pain and torment Zoro has gone through to the series, that nigga should be dead or hospitalized. Like when we saw, there's this picture, right, that shows if Luffy and Zoro and Sanji had accumulated scar. Well, I think only Luffy. If he accumulated, and Oda actually showed his scars throughout the series, he would be riddled with scars. I think that would be cool, but I guess it's too much to draw. Zoro would be a huge fucking scab because the amount of cuts he's gone through. Zoro versus Mr. One. That was his, like, Zoro's first major challenging fight where he bloomed. Like, his battle expertise and power bloomed. Alright, he learned how to cut steel. But I think he channeled hockey, personally. But Mr. One put him through the ringer. He sliced that man up like a whole bunch of times. And a building fell down on him. That nigga is superhuman just from that feat and just from that whole battle. It was incredible to watch, and I think one of Zoro's best battles and most painful.
クソゴックが出しゃばりやがって。
てめえこそ天然記念物が。
ゴムゴムの
へっガキが。なんだ。
ジャンクズだってよジャンクズ腕が
安いもんだ腕のい。
Number 20, Shanks losing his... Oh wait, he lost his left arm. So, this was probably one of the first gruesome, maybe the first gruesome injuries in One Piece. Shanks getting his arm eaten by a Sea King. Now we all know Shanks is a badass and he didn't even flinch or wince. Probably even didn't feel that. Well, he probably did feel that. I don't know. It's Shanks. But I know if I had my arm just bitten off by a large ass sea monster, I'ma feel that shit. His whole arm is gone. Nerves, bone, cartilage, all disconnected in one fell bite. Alright, and we're not even talking about the salt water that got in that wound. So, that shit was probably painful. Number 19, Luffy versus Bellamy, both of the times. Just fucking right in his temple. That. Now we all know this is probably top 5, maybe top 3 Luffy's most badass moments. That shit left a dent in his goddamn head, like a fucking whole huge ass dent. Alright, like if you open your car door on a goddamn Jeep Grand Cherokee in a parking lot, that type of dent, and just fucking leaves a huge ass dent. That shit looked like it was permanent. Like it was the indentation, like tab. You press tab multiple times in his skull. Now, I know that was a knockout punch, and he probably didn't feel that. Nah, he did feel that. He did feel that when he woke up. Bellamy should have been dead both of the times, because that looked like if you did a CAT scan, shit would be dark. You know, no activity in the brain, because his shit got discombobulated. Rip Bellamy. Number 18, Luffy versus Magellan. When Magellan shot the poison at Luffy, Luffy was on the ground wreathing. He was so, looked like he was in a lot of, it's just so much agony, like sulfuric acid, hydrochloric acid, hydrofluoric acid, fucking carbonic acid, all types of acid you'll find in a fucking chemistry lab. It looked like he was poisoned. He got ricin, cyanide. His eyes were white. He was That was when Luffy had Luffy took a seat after that. Luffy was humbled after that, because Luffy honestly should have died, but you know, devil's luck, will of D in plot armor. You know, he survived it, gathered antibodies from that, so I guess that was a plus. But the amount of corrosive acidic paint, the corrosion on his skin, and in his, it was in his mouth too, so it probably got in his lungs. It's probably felt like he was getting burned inside and outside of his body at the same time. That it was probably one of Luffy's most painful moments, to be honest, and that shit made me, I was like, damn, sucks to suck.
剣士の恥だ。
見事。生き急ぐな。若き力よ。
Number 17. Another Zoro moment. Alright. Zoro versus Mihawk. Now, this was Zoro's challenge to world's strongest swordsman. And this is Zoro's first major defeat. Probably his last. He probably vowed never to lose again because of this. When he fought Mihawk, it just looked like he was getting fucking toyed with. Mihawk wasn't even using 1% of his power. It was like if a goddamn Titan went against Peabody and Sherman. That's how bad it was. Zoro got when he did the sword face off, when he did 3,000 worlds, and you know, Mihawk just did an unnamed attack, gash all across his chest, his abdomen, right here. That shit looked deep. Like, that was a fatal attack. Even when on Arlong Park, when Arlong took off his bandages, he wondered how he's still alive. I wanted the same thing, Arlong, because that shit looked like it got past his chest cavity, cut his goddamn sternum. And then after that, he stood up, turned around, because Zoro has to be badass, you know. He's always badass. It says, scar in the back of the sword machine. So, excellent. Wham! Should be dead. That nigga has to have a D in his name, because he's still alive and kicking after that ghastly gash across his chest. That shit looked like I've been cut deep, but whew, that shit looked like he need to go in an infirmary.
そうさ。どんな悲劇も失態も起きちまったことだけが現実。お前がオペオペの実を食って逃げたことも、バンクハザードで俺に牙を向き、今ここにいることも。
Number 16. Law loses his arm to Doflamingo and Dressrosa. Now, put this in perspective. You're a Law, right? You're a badass. But you're against Doflamingo, an even bigger badass. Alright? He raised this man. Let's say, it's hard to put in perspective. Say about 50 meters high. 50? It was pretty high. I'm gonna have to look it up again, but it looked like it was about 50 meters high. Raised them up. Strings. Gripped his arm. You know how Doflamingo is. He's a psychopath. This fucking American Psycho. No, not American Psycho. Fucking Mary Jo Psycho. Stringed him up. Put his knee on his arm. Free fell. Terminal velocity. Sliced his arm off on the impact, and again with the impact from free falling 50 feet with Law. Law was wreathing in agony. I winced. I was like, ooh. He was wreathing in agony. People was like, Law shouldn't be acting all can act. Dude! Not only did he fall 50 feet full impact, he got his arm cut off from that. I would be dead. He's breathing in agony. That look, I was like, I grabbed my arm like, ah. Luckily, my boy reattached it because he's the surgeon. He's the best surgeon of Chopper. All right, but props to Law from you know handling that, because that shit looked painful, man. I felt bad for Law. I'm not gonna lie, I shed a tear.
What is it?
Oh, number 15, Whitebeard versus Akainu. No.
Spit it the fuck out.
Is a badass. If he was the main protagonist of One Piece, he would get the One Piece in 1 year. This man is often underestimated. I think Akainu is honestly maybe almost Yonko level, if not Yonko level right now as Fleet Admiral, but I think he's a little bit less than Yonko level, but I think he can give a Yonko a good fight. Not Whitebeard. No. Whitebeard past his prime, dying. Alright, 100 bullets to his dome. And later head blown off. Fucking half his head blown off. Ace dying, Ace being captured, you know, messing with your children. You don't do that. You don't mess with a nigga's child. Alright? And Akainu felt the full wrath of of Whitebeard's power. Got fucking quaked. Like, he had all of the past recent earthquakes in California didn't even, it pales in comparison. What was the worst earthquake in history? It was somewhere in China. It was more like that, where all those millions of people. It was more like that. Took all of that shit in his face. We even see his body is warped, and he got it to the side too. Akainu should be dead. I know I said that a lot, but he really should be dead. At least have brain. His whole, think of a earthquake like maybe of 8 on a Richter scale, or maybe 7.5 on the Richter scale. Take all of that to your head and body. Now I know Akainu probably has insane durability, and he probably has insane haki, Boshiku haki, but an earthquake to the body, dude? I know he felt that. You know he felt that. His blood was spewing. This man looked like he was in pain. I know he wanted to cry. Said this marine shit is not worth it. I don't want to face this bitch.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Luckily, he survived. Luckily to him, but I know his ribs, his sternum, his cranium, his hippocampus, that shit got rocked. I don't know. He got quaked to hell.
俺もいつか夢の船を作りてえから。
Number 14, Frankie taking the puffing Tom. Now this is a really forgotten moment actually, and Frankie doesn't get a lot of props he deserves. Oh, Oda gives Frankie more spotlight in later in time skip because he's not been really getting spotlight, and Frankie's honestly probably I'd say one of my favorite additions to the Straw Hat, and probably one of my favorite Straw Hats actually. I just wish I know he's resigned to like comedy relief, but anyway, this was a huge feat. I don't even know how Frankie's alive. I think everyone wondered how Frankie was alive. Not only did he get ran over by a CN freight train, an Amtrak train, a CTA train, a Western Union, not Western Union, fucking, what is that train company called? You know what I'm talking about. One of those huge freight trains that, you know, stop you in traffic for a goddamn hour when you need to go somewhere important. He tanked that. Felt the entire impact. He was a kid, by the way. He was a kid. Felt the whole impact of a freight train hitting. Lived to tell the tale. He should be dead. So he felt every single one. And then later performed surgery on himself to make him a cyborg. He, with no anesthesia probably. He felt Frankie's endurance in DC. His ability to feel to take pain must be extremely high, like higher than the guy that cut off his own arm, or what was it, where he was stuck between those rocks. I forgot. I watched the movie. I forgot what it was called, but he probably take a lot of pain just to survive that and then perform surgery on himself. I would have just said, shoot me, man. Like, shit, man, just shoot me. I couldn't do that.
どこまでもガチ抜けると思うなや。何派手に切り刻んでやら。俺の股間。
お前の相手はまだ俺だ。
Number 13, Buggy getting kicked in the balls. Now, I was gonna add this as number 1 as a joke, but I'm not gonna even hold you. That shit, that deserved to be on the list, because I was gonna put it in the honorable mentions or, you know, number 1, but no, this genuinely deserves to be on the list, because every nibba knows, every Negro knows, getting kicked in the balls is no joke. It's no laughing matter. It's like all the pain of a childbirth in a short burst. And when Luffy kicked him in the balls, and you heard that glass sound effect, everyone felt that. Every person felt that. I was in tears. I know Buggy is he's an invalid. He is sterile after that, because that's his purse. You know, he got Hank Hill. Luffy was Bobby Hill and Buggy was Hank Hill. Fuck. I'm tearing up just thinking about that. Man, that Buggy did not deserve that. Number 12, Zeph cutting off his leg. Now, we all know Zeph is Sanji's real father, or real dad. You know, judge You may be your father, but you ain't your daddy. Zeph is a real nigga. Put my favorite character, Sanji, under his wings. And not only that, he gave, when they were starving on that, when they were marooned and they were starving, he gave Sanji all of his food, and he made Sanji think he was hoarding the food, but nah, this nigga cut off his own leg and ate it. Now, in the anime, he got his leg got stuck in a chain and he cut it up. No. In the manga, he took a huge ass rock, smashed it repeatedly without making a noise, because if he made a noise, Sanji would have known. So he did not scream in agony or nothing. Went through veins, went through arteries, went through nerves, bone, cartilage, marrow, repeatedly. Because I know you probably couldn't cut off your leg with a sharp rock in one fell swoop. He probably did it maybe a good couple of times, smashed it off, then later ate it. When I saw that, I said, shit, that's kind of hardcore for One Piece, man. Because, can you imagine the pain of that? Just smashing your leg off with a rock? Zeph is, we all know, red leg Zeph is not to be played with. Number 11, Sanji vs. Jin. Same arc, East Blue Saga, Baratier arc. One of my favorite arcs, by the way, top 5 arcs. When Sanji was going up against Jin, took a hit from Jin's. I hope we see Jin in a time skip, by the way. A lot of people saying, he's weak, he shouldn't be in post time. That would be cool to see Jin in the post time skip, dude. Shut up. So, Jin literally hit Sanji in the ribs. Sanji, Zoro has a lot of badass moments, but forget, Sanji has gone through a lot of shit too. And when he took the hit to the ribs, he had internal bleeding, coughing from the mouth. It was obvious that his ribs were broken. If you never had a broken rib, then fuck. Not only was his ribs shattered, it probably pierced his organs too if he was internally bleeding. That was fatal. That was a really gruesome hit, and Sanji was still up and at him after that. If you got hit in the ribs with a steel, I don't know, whatever the weapon Jin was using, and you would probably be hospitalized and crying in agony. You would probably be fucking needing to get an EMT, because that hit was critical. That was a critical hit. Luffy versus Crocodile. I think the most bullshit moment in One Piece, next to, Luffy versus Katakuri. But I think the most reasonable explanation is plot armor. But when Luffy was posting up against Crocodile, and we all know Crocodile's out of Luffy's league, and Luffy got humbled.
Bitch, sit down. Be humble.
I'll be messing with. This is where he really knew the Grand Line was no joke because he had monsters on the Grand Line like Crocodile. Literally got stabbed in the chest with the hook. Luffy shocked, thrown in the sand like a piece of garbage, like a dog in India, a dead dog in India, just thrown in the river. His hole in his chest, sand filled in. The amount of pain he felt in his chest after that, it's probably staggering. And Luffy, we all know, should have died from that because that was a gruesome hit. That was terrible. And he should have a scar. But I think Luffy only gets scars from either burn since he's rubber or his eye scar because before he got his double fruit. So yeah, that was probably one of the most gruesome injuries Luffy has ever had.
神よ、言い残したことが一つあった。いや、その前に悪いな。タバコの火欲しかったとだ。それとなんだ。吠え面かきやがれ。
Number 9. Sanji versus motherfucking Ino. Sanji's most badass This is Sanji's Zoro moment when Zoro took all of Luffy's pain. He got like 100 million volts of lightning straight to the it was pretty much a Kamehameha at that point. It was a fucking Kamehameha. It was a key. It was a Kamehameha wave. It was a key blast. That was key energy. Pure large hadron collider type shit to his whole entire body. Should be disintegrated. But after taking that hit for his crew, has a cigarette, a Marlboro, a Black and Mild, a Camel Cool Pack cigarette, and just says thanks. Looks in a dead eye. Thanks for the light. That's when Sanji became my favorite character. I know Zoro was badass, but the way he pulled it off had so much swag. Alright, no Soldier Boy. Has so much swag and finesse. It takes a real nigga to stand up, take a life-threatening hit, and just act so cool after that. I know if I took that shit, I'd be out. I gotta go to sleep. Nah, he had to say that before falling down. And that's why Sanji is the swaggiest One Piece character in the series. Number 8. Immediately after number 9. Zoro taking Luffy's pain from Bartolomeo. Now, like I said about number 9, how Ino versus Sanji was Zoro's taking Luffy's pain. This is what I'm talking about. Zoro, this is what the moment that made 99% Zoro fans, and it made me a Zoro fan as well. Zoro is top 5, undoubtedly, easily my top 5, one of my top 5 favorite One Piece characters. And when he took that pain, I was like 13, maybe 14 when I say 13 when I saw that. When I saw just a little smidget of pain made him just feel like he was in shock after that. When he took the whole bubble of pain that he accumulated from Bartolomeo, and previously after that pulled off a that was also badass. But people forget how much pain Luffy accumulated in Thriller Bark, and Zoro took a lot of damage too. So when he took all of that in the next, later, when they woke up and Zoro was standing there, and he said nothing happened. Bitch, everything happened to you, dude. And covered in blood. Imagine all of the pain he felt. An average human being, if an average human being would have easily died from that. Well, no one's average in One Piece, but an average character in One Piece would have died from that. And it just proves Zoro's capability as a right-hand man to the captain, the future Pirate King. So that says it all. Zoro's a badass, and yeah, he's probably still having nightmares and therapy through of that moment. Number 7, Gamma Knife. Now, Doflamingo is a badass. You know, not everyone can pull off pink tight pants and an open shirt and be as flamboyant as he is and look so cool and badass. And I think, controversially, I think Doflamingo is stronger than Luffy, because people forget how monstrous Doflamingo is. Not only did he have a bird cage, fought multiple high-level enemies, dealing with everybody, he took a gamma knife to his organs. Now, gamma knife, radio knife surgery is an actual thing, where they use high levels of radioactive on a sharp scalpel or a sharp object to perform surgery. And Law has his own version. His version is a direct shot of gamma radiation through your body. Gamma radiation is the highest form of ionizing radiation that you can experience, and you'd probably die from it. Like, if not immediately, very soon after. Anyone that probably gets hit by a gamma, like 90% of the characters in One Piece that gets hit with a gamma knife wouldn't survive. Nope, Doflamingo survived because he could stitch his organs together. Now, even though he could stitch his organs together, I want you to imagine your organs getting obliterated. Each second your organs are deteriorating. I don't know if you've ever had sharp organ pain. No, I'm not talking about heartburn or shit, or a side stitch from running. No. Your organs getting deteriorated. And he was still up and at him. Now, he coughed up blood and he was in pain, obviously. But Doflamingo. Oh my god. When I saw that, I was like, holy shit. Doflamingo needs to go through physical therapy after that. He needs to be treated and impelled down because that gamma knife was brutal. Number 6, Luffy versus Katakuri. Now, how I said Crocodile was one of the most bullshit moments that ever happened to Luffy, I think this was the most one because he didn't even get a scar from this. He got his whole side of his abdomen. This, like his ribs, kidneys, liver, gone. Or, they're gone. Alright. It was just obliterated, blown to smithereens by the strike Katakuri did Katakuri did to Luffy. Not only did Katakuri take Luffy to the slam, alright, but after all of that accumulation of damage and Luffy was still able to get up, he then stabbed Luffy. Now, granted, he did stab himself too, come on, Katakuri's best character. He's badass, alright? He's humble. He's not even a villain. He's just a badass. That's how I would categorize him. Now, when we all saw that, I know when we all saw it in the anime and manga, we were like, holy shit. I don't know how Luffy's gonna survive this one. Because that was beyond fatal. That was a death blow. That's something you would see on Live Leak, Best Gore, 4chan Rec threads. His organ should have been spilling out. Luffy was obviously in agony. I don't blame him. That was a terrifying blow. That made me tear up. And Luffy survived. Devil's luck or high endurance. I don't know how, but that was easily one of the worst things, like one of the worst injuries I've seen in One Piece. Number 5, Ace getting killed. Magu fist through Ace's chest, through Ace's shit. All right, he got a fist ran through his shit. Very painful moment. Everyone cried. We all loved Ace. Ace was one of the best characters before his death, and it hurt every One Piece fan. But people forget. He was protecting Luffy, and when he got that magma fist ran through his shit, put this in perspective. That hole was probably this big, right? That's your heart, that's your lungs, your trachea, your sternum, your esophagus, all of that. Just hole burned through. And not only that, scorching hot magma was leaking through his organs and body. He felt, and he was still alive after that to say goodbye to Luffy. So he felt the hot searing pain of magma going through his body. That was worse than the fucking special beam cannon that went through Raditz's and Goku's body during the Sand Saga. No wonder he died from that. I'm pretty sure anyone should have died from that. But I know the emotional pain was higher than probably the physical pain at the time. Nah, fuck it. I think the physical pain was worse.
死してなおその体屈することなく満身創痍で敵をなぎ倒すその姿まさに怪物この戦闘によって受けた刀傷実に260と7たち受けた銃弾100と52発受けた砲弾40と6発さりとてその誇り高き後ろ姿にはあるいはその海賊人生に一切の逃げ傷なし
Number 4, Whitebeard's overall presence at Marineford. We all know Whitebeard's durability is probably the highest in the series, if not one of the highest in the series, because you saw the statistics. You saw the statistics of Whitebeard's injuries in battle, and had half of his head blown off. You do the math and calculate if the amount of pain Whitebeard took without even screaming or flinching. You calculate that. Why that's how badass Whitebeard is. Now, top 3. Now, these are no joke. Number 3. People forget about this moment a lot. Usopp getting his shit batted in Alabasta. When I rewatched and saw this moment, and Usopp is still alive, and he doesn't even have any facial, cranial, or disfigurements or any psychological or mental damage after that. Do you know how heavy that bat was? Wait a second. Usopp. Shit batted in. He got his shit batted in. Wow. That was beyond Major League. That was beyond Major League. That was beyond Scout. Say goodbye to your head, Chuckle Nuts. That was beyond. That was beyond fucking Sammy Sosa.
Here's a pitch swung on a long drive. Way back, might be at it. It is. Holy cow. There they are.
Barry Bonds. Paul Kner. Any baseball star. The hardest bat hitter.
Stretch! Get on back there. They look up. You can put it on the board.
Right to his goddamn
Yes!
His
Yes!
whole skull cracked. You know how heavy that bat was? And Usopp was the normal cowardly human being. If that happened to Kaido or Katakuri, I'd have been like, damn. If that happened to Luffy, Luffy should be dead. If that happened to Zoro, Zoro should be dead. If that happened to Law, Law should be dead. And it was Usopp. He had his whole skull cracked open like an egg. Humpty Dumpty. That was a critical hit from TF2 by the Scout in the metal bat. That shit weighed tons. Felt all in his cranium. And Usopp managed to survive that. Usopp deserves props from that. God Usopp. No wonder to call him God Usopp because he survived that. Wow. Now this is personally the #1 most painful moment for me. This is personally the most painful moment for me. Luffy sliding down Drum Island when he was carrying Nami and Sanji. Now, everyone winced at this part. This was so... Everyone felt that. Luffy was climbing up. You know, isn't Drum Island like 2 miles high or a mile high? Like maybe 2 kilometers high? It's very high. And Luffy carried, getting frostbite. He probably had a little frostbite on his fingers. Slid down the coarse, hard rock of Drum to the point where his fingertips were bleeding, his fingers were bleeding, his nails probably chunked off, flesh sliding down, getting lost, sliding down. Luffy was probably in so much pain in that point. I was like, when I saw that, I looked away. I couldn't handle that. For One Piece, for a shonen anime, that shit made, That was probably Luffy's worst and most painful moment. But that really showed Luffy's determination as a captain and helped solidify Luffy as, you know, the future Pirate King and a badass because his dedication to his crew's life. #1 most painful moment in One Piece. Chad. Odin getting boiled in hot oil. The boiling point of oil is fairly high. Pretty sure no normal human being, well, besides those Indians that fry things in hot oil with their hands.
Bare hands.
That's besides the point. This Odin was submerged in that oil for an hour. Was it more than an hour actually? He was submerged in that oil for a fairly long time, carrying his crew's weight. Feeling every second of that sizzling, boiling hot oil. I don't know if you've ever been burned by oil or burned in general. It's probably the worst feelings you can ever have done to your body. As someone that has gotten burned before, and Odin sat in a pot of boiling oil for an hour and still managed to, live. So he not only did he manage to live through that, carried his whole crew, so they had to shoot him and kill him. If that isn't painful as your nerves and organs get internally boiled alive and your nerves get singed and burned and the blood is boiling in your body as well while carrying your crew's weight, if that isn't Giga Chad energy, if that isn't 12-inch BBC armor energy, then I don't know what is. And that honestly is the most painful One Piece moment throughout the whole series. Thank you guys for watching. There'll be more One Piece videos to come. Let me know if you disagree with the list or you have your own list and you think some things need to be rearranged. Let me know in the comments down below. And well, au revoir, my Negroes.